Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, salutations to all. So here in the 15th chapter we saw Bhagavan gave the highest knowledge of the truth, and he said in the 6th verse that natad bhasayate suryaha na shashanko na pavakaha. What is that supreme state which cannot be grasped by the intellect, which is not any concept, which is not any emotional state, it is not something that can be externally perceived, but it is our true nature as infinite consciousness, and having realized that absolute, there is no coming back into the realm of ignorance. Yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Now, till the jiva doesn't realize that there is the cycle of birth and death that goes on. So who is that entity who travels? Who is the entity who is bound? That Jivatma is the one who is thinking of itself as different from the infinite, and thinking of itself as limited, identified with the body, feels bound, feels limited, feels I need this to become happy, I need that to become happy, I should go there, I should become this, I should acquire that, I should leave this. Different things the jiva thinks. So who is that jiva? And at this moment the thought process also is that I am completely different from the creator and the creation. So Bhagavan says that is not true, that ignorance is what is causing the cycle of birth and death. And so the 7th shloka said, Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. My own amsha is there in this world as the jiva. Jiva loke is this world. Mamaeva amshaha. Meaning I am not completely different from the divine. I am one with the divine actually. But I have forgotten that. Now we saw in detail, I will not explain too much now. We already saw that how when it is said amsha, it is not actually meaning that I am part of Bhagavan. It only is an appearance, like how the pot space appears to be small and limited from the outer space, and then one can say pot space is the amsha of the outer space, but actually there is no amsha, there is no part and whole, because space cannot be divided. The division appears because of the pot. Same way, because of identification with the body, then that same infinite consciousness that is manifesting in the body assumes itself to be limited as Mr. So and so, the jiva. So then one says ki no, this jiva is part of that. But actually there is no part, because it is infinite, then there cannot be any part. The part is only an appearance, it is an illusion, it is not true. So mama eva amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. The jiva is sanatan. Why? As long as this ignorance is there, this jiva will continue. The bodies will perish, but the jiva will continue taking new bodies. Which is why we don't believe in YOLO. You only live once. We don't believe that there is the one life only, and then after the death, you rest in peace, and then judgment day you will all arise, and then you will get promoted to eternal heaven or eternal hell. That is not our belief. That's why we never say rest in peace for the jiva, for Hindus. Because we are infinite by true nature, we have to just recognize that, and till we don't do that, the bodies we will keep taking new. So that's why he says sanatana. Sanatana here doesn't mean eternal. If the bondage will become eternal then. If we say jiva is eternal, it is eternal only from the standpoint that till it doesn't realize that truth, which is its true nature as infinite consciousness, this jiva will keep taking new bodies even if the body dies. So compared to body's death, the jiva continues. So the jiva is called eternal here. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Meaning what? Each of us has a choice. If I say that I am a jiva, I am miserable, I am little, this individuality, and this desire has to be fulfilled, that has to be fulfilled, this life is not enough, I need another life, then this sanatan will go on, this process will go on. But he one says, no, there is nothing here. It is all ignorance that I think I am this and so I feel bound and then I am seeking happiness outside. Paramananda is my Swarup. I want to turn within and realize. If one realizes, then here and now, finished. Then Mana Shashthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Because I have desires, I, who is none other than infinite consciousness, identified with this one BMI, now I am running behind objects. Now in that process, running behind objects, I am creating new desires. Now as per my desires, I will get new bodies. That's what it is saying, Manashashthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani. This mind and the senses, the mind, intellect, senses, these are all made up of, they are Prakriti, they are Jadavastu. Manaha Shashthani Indriyani. So 5 senses of knowledge and 1 mind become 6. Mind is called inner sense faculty. The other 5 are called external, outer faculties of the senses. They are called Bahishkarana, 5 senses, and this is called Antakarana. Mind includes intellect here. So this mind and intellect, they are made up of Prakriti, they are just matter, dead matter, like anything which is here. This is gross matter, that is subtle matter, that's all, but it is Jadavastu. Only when consciousness reflects in it, it will become sentient. So this is what he said, Prakriti Sthani Karshati. This mind and intellect, because it has the power of consciousness, it will draw to itself appropriate body. Not only after this life, in this life also, whatever the jiva attains, that jiva attains because of the reflection of consciousness in the mind and intellect. Then that mind becomes powerful and it will attract positive, negative, whatever it attracts is because of that. But one doesn't know that it is my nature is that consciousness and not this mind and intellect. So then one is thinking I am the mind and intellect. Now I feel finite, now I want to enjoy, I want to eat, drink, dance, go do this, go do that. So in life one goes chasing behind objects and creates more and more desires, and then those desires to be fulfilled, for that I need new bodies. So then this mind will accordingly attract those bodies, enter into those wombs. That is the cycle of birth and death. This is samsara. When we say 15 chapters, the essence of the Gita, 15th chapter also takes into account this, that what is this samsara and how this cycle of birth and death happens. How the jiva is actually one with Paramatma, but having forgotten that, it thinks of itself as a limited entity, and now because it is limited, it has identified as though with the mind, intellect, and it keeps identifying with the body, and then it attracts objects. What nowadays people call manifesting. This is manifesting only. Not only in this life, next body also we are only manifesting. Why did you become a man? Because you needed some experience like that, so you became a man. Why did you become a woman? Because you wanted some experience. Bhagavatam says, those who are men in this life will become women in next life, and those who are women in this life will become men in the next life. Most probably. Why? Because they are thinking that only, opposite gender. One can attract anybody. There is again no guarantee that once a human, always a human. So think about it, how rare is this human body, in which one can recognize this, ki my nature is consciousness, I am not even this Jivatma, forget being the body and the senses. I am not even the Jivatma, I am infinite consciousness, Paramatma is my Swarup. So Bhagavan is saying here, Manashashthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. This Jiva is nothing other than Paramatma's Amsha. And Manashashthani Indriyani is Prakriti. This combination of Purusha and Prakriti, this Purusha Amsha, identifying with this Prakriti, is what this individuality is. Gurudev used to say, the unholy wedlock of the matter and the spirit produces the monster child of the ego. Unholy wedlock of the matter and the spirit. This is that only. The Mamaiva Amsha, when he says the Jiva is consciousness, but identified with the limited. Then the mind and intellect identifies with. Now, when it is said like this, now those who understand this process, there are two ways. One is to think that, okay, so we believe in rebirth, so it is good. What desires are not fulfilled in this life will be fulfilled in the next life. Chalo, we continue. Then samsara goes on. But one who says, no, I had enough, I want to realize who am I truly. So here the 8th verse speaks about that how that infinite having forgotten, in some of them it continues, and some they realize, no, this is not appropriate. So that process of how the identification happens with the BMI, and then how one tries to disengage from this, attain dispassion. Now this 8th and 9th verse, they will explain that. Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati ishvaraha grihitvaitani sanyati vayurgandhani vashayat. How does the Jivatma leave the body? That is this verse. What does it take with it? That is the next verse. And how, if I understand this process, then I will understand that I am not this body, mind, intellect at all. So the deluded ones don't realize this, the wise ones see this. So this is a sequence, this is the flow of thought. So the wise and the deluded, that explanation, that comes in the 10th verse. So how does this Jiva, who is nothing other than infinite consciousness, when it feels limited, then it attracts desires, it has desires, and it attracts new bodies to itself. That process is explained here. Shariram yad avapnoti. That which pervades this body. Meaning what? See, the body is made up of 5 elements. Gross 5 elements make up this body, subtle 5 elements make up the mind. But both these by themselves are inert. What is pervading this body, mind, intellect by which it can function? That consciousness. Shariram yad avapnoti, yad chapi utkramati, and that which ejects out of the body. So this Jivatma which is there in this body, which is none other than consciousness, and which then leaves this body, yad chapi utkramati, Ishwaraha. Now please remember, the word Ishwara here means Jiva. Swamiji, Ishwara means Jiva. See, in this context, Ishwara means the Lord. Who is the Lord of this BMI? Is this Jiva. But who is that Jiva? That Jiva is Mama Amsha, that Bhagavan said in the previous verse. Mama eva Amsho Jiva Loke. That sun reflecting in one pot of water, that reflected sun, that reflection is that Jiva. That sun is Paramatma, Brahman. This reflection is not different from that. It is same. This reflection doesn't have to go and merge with that big sun. It is that only. But it doesn't know that. It thinks it is separate. Same way, we have forgotten we are one with infinite consciousness. Now we think we are this limited, finite Mr. So and so. So because of that, yat shariram yad avapnoti yat chap yutkramati ishvara. The consciousness takes up one body. The Jivatma, now we say, takes up one body, lives in this body, goes through various experiences as per its prarabdha karma. Then it will drop this body, eject out of this body, take another body. How? As per its own new set of karmas. And that new body will definitely be affected by what? The last thought that this Jiva has in this body. That we saw in the 8th chapter. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. What is the last thought? That will determine predominantly the direction and the body that the Jivatma will get. So he says here, Shariram yad avapnoti yad chapi utkramati Ishvaraha. This Ishvara, this controller of this body, this one Jivatma, how does it leave one body and go to the other? Grihit vaitani sanyati. Etani sanyati. It gathers these things. What? The 5 senses of knowledge, 5 senses of action, 5 pranas, mind, intellect, memory, ego. 19 items plus causal body, vasanas and ignorance. 21 things this Jivatma gathers from one body, ejects out of that body. Grihit vaitani samyati. And how it will go? Like the wind which passes on, let us say, some flowers or a box of perfume. As the wind passes, it will just effortlessly gather the smell and take it with it. Vayurgandha nivashayat. In that way, this Jivatma collects all this and just ejects out of this gross body. So, who goes out of the body is called Jivatma. Please remember. This one point we should become clear as Hindus, otherwise we have so much confusion in this. Uski Atma chali gayi, Atma doesn't go anywhere. Atma is infinite consciousness, Atma is Sachidananda Swarup, Brahma, existence, consciousness, bliss. Where it will go? It can't go anywhere. It is all pervasive. In space, you can move one object from one place to another. But how will you move space? Space is everywhere. So if this pen is there, I can move this pen from here to here. Why? Because the pen is limited. It has this much shape only. So the pen which is here is not here. So from here it can come here. But I can't move space like that. Why? Because space is everywhere. Same way, infinite consciousness, Sachidananda Swarup, Brahma is everywhere. It is existence. Consciousness and bliss. Existence is everywhere. Every single thing exists. This hand exists, the head exists, the book exists. That existence is that infinite truth, imperishable. Forms come and go, existence doesn't come and go. So then who got inside the body and who got outside, went out of the body? That is called Jivatma. That consciousness identified with the limited because of its ignorance feels I am Mr. So and so. It identifies with this. Then it takes up one identity, Mr. So and so. That is called Jivatma. Because of its beginningless past, it has come into this body, and as per its karma, it goes through certain karmas in this body, and then while going through that, it is creating new karmas. That creates new desires, new bondage, which may require new bodies. So it leaves one body, goes to the other. In the dead body, Atma is still there. Swamiji, how is Atma there? Because it is existing. Only that subtle body is not there, so it cannot express life, response. Which is why some people who are declared dead, suddenly they wake up. Why? Because the subtle body has got associated again with that gross body, and now that person is again able to talk, respond. So Jivatma takes new bodies, Jivatma lives in the body, Jivatma goes out of the body, and Jivatma takes new bodies that way. And this Jivatma is none other than infinite consciousness. Until it doesn't realize this, it will keep going, new bodies. Atma doesn't go anywhere, Atma is only one. That's why you should never say, uski Atma chali gayi. Who went is Jivatma. Be clear about that. The individual finite entity which is reflected consciousness, which is Mr. So and so, which is as though consciousness is bound, that goes from one body to another. In its true nature, it is infinite, which doesn't go anywhere. That is what it realizes. My nature is Brahman, infinite bliss. So, Shariram yad avapnoti. Now this example that which is given here of the wind and the smell, air and the smell. Ram Sukdas ji gives very nice explanation of this. So he says here that just like the smell is not inherent to that wind, it will carry that wind for some time. The smell is not inherent in the wind, so the wind will carry the smell for some time, air will carry the smell for some time, but it is not the nature of that air. Same way, our true nature is not this BMI. Our true nature is consciousness, but now we identify with this BMI. So BMI is like the smell, and consciousness is our true nature. So that is one example elaboration that he gives, that how this is not inherent. The smell is not inherent to the air. Second, he says how the air is an evolute of space. When we believe in Sanatana Dharma, we say from space came air, from air comes fire, from fire comes water, and from water comes earth. And smell is a property of the earth. So that property of the earth it is, but the air is just carrying it. Same way, the property of the BMI is finitude. Consciousness is infinite, but it appears to be gathering this identification with the BMI, and it attracts new bodies to itself. Like the air, when it is passing by some flower, it will just carry the smell effortlessly. It doesn't do anything. Just like that it will take. So in that way he says here that this, because one is not alert, this bondage sustains. It is just going on. Out of ignorance, one is thinking, yes, I am the body, I am Mr. So and so, happiness is in the world outside, so I am running behind it. Desire fulfillment is the way to happiness. Effortlessly that ignorance is going on. The moment one says, no, 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 this is not mine. Falsely I am thinking this is me. If the actor doesn't remember who the actor is and thinks I am the role only, effortlessly when that ignorance is playing, then the actor had to at some point one has to say, no, 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 this is not me, this is only a role. Same way this BMI is just a equipment we have to exhaust some karma. Now I can exhaust karma with karma yoga attitude so that new vasanas are not created and I can contemplate and know my true nature. Or I can say, no, no, I want to enjoy, I want to create more further karmas, more desires, more bodies. Okay, that choice Bhagavan has given to us. So that's another part of this analogy that he gives, that we have the power of discrimination, that we can separate clearly, saying that this is Jadavastu, body, mind, intellect, and identified with it, I, the infinite consciousness, is in between thinking of myself as the Jiva. I am not the Jiva. Which is why Nirvana Shatkam, the first shloka, is so beautiful. Mano buddhi hankara chittani naham. I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the memory, I am not the ego. Then, nacha shrotra jivve nacha ghrana netre. I am not the five senses of knowledge. Then, this body is made up of five gross elements. So, nacha vyoma bhumirna tejo na vayu. So, in that first shloka, this gross body and subtle body both are destroyed. Identification is gone, saying I am not this gross body, I am not this subtle body. This false identification, this has happened. The beautiful example given in Atma Bodh by Shankaracharya ji is of the crystal and the cloth. The crystal ball has no color by itself. But when the cloth, red color cloth, let us say, is brought nearby, then that red color will reflect in that crystal. Then it will appear that crystal is red. But that redness has nothing to do with that crystal. Even when that redness is seen there, it has not become red. So in that way, even though this appears as though that consciousness has become finite, and the body which is perishable and inert appears sentient, consciousness is infinite as it is. I only have to recognize that. Until I don't recognize, this process will happen. So this vivek has to be done. Another part of this analogy is how the air, when it is moving, it doesn't take the flowers, it doesn't take the perfume box, it leaves the flower, the perfume box, it only takes the fragrance. Same way, this body remains here. The body is the seat, body is like the flower, body is like that perfume box in this context. That body remains here. This Jivatma gathers itself, those 21 items, etani said, na grihitva etani samyati, it goes. And nobody can stop that. When that appointed time comes, when the karma is over, that jiva will depart. Some death nimitta will be there, that one can't stop. Healthiest of people suddenly will just fall and die. Suddenly some heart attack happens, some accident happens, something happens. One may keep giving some cause for it and say, okay, when one wants to learn from it, one can learn, no doubt. But when that appointed time comes, and what is that appointed time? Not set up by Bhagavan. Based on my own karma, if I came here to exhaust some 1 lakh karmas, when that 1 lakh karmas are over, I will drop the body, finished. Whatever be the age of the body. Until that 1 lakh karma is not over, that body will not drop. No matter how much one tries, nothing will be possible. That jiva has to go through that 1 lakh karma. When that is over, 1 lakh karma is over, then that jiva will depart. Like how the air takes the fragrance and moves, but the flower remains there. Same way this jivatma will drop this body. move. If the Jivatma has attachment to that body, it will be there for some time in that Bhuvar Loka, and it will keep watching the body, and it will keep seeing the other beings who are around it, and whatever attachment it has with other people. It continues in the mind that depending on whatever that attachment is, it may feel sad, disturbed, whatever. It will also feel the joy of being out of the body. We should not forget that. That's why 15th chapter is also chanted when a person departs. 2nd chapter, 8th chapter, 15th chapter. If you have time, 12th chapter and 18 also. 5 chapters. If you can't read the whole Gita, at least these 5. If nothing, if not any of these 5 also, if you don't have time to read all the 5, then read this 15th chapter. Because this also gives that knowledge of what happens to the jiva and how effortlessly this wind carries the fragrance. That way the jiva ejects out of the body. Sometimes the jiva finds it difficult to drop because of attachment, and it doesn't want to let go, and then there is a struggle, and then it will go. Because karma is over, it has to be ejected. Nature will push it out. Till then, after that, if it has detachment, it will keep going further as per its karma. If it has to go further, if it is the enlightened one who has realized, then nothing, no going, coming. Realize here and now my nature is Brahman. All karmas get burnt. So, grihit vaitani samyati vayurgandhan ivashayat. Hence, Bhagavan says in this that I have assumed myself to be this body, mind, intellect and the ruler of this Ishvara. And I have forgotten the real Ishvara. That ignorance of my true nature and then identification with this is what is causing the bondage. And then further I identify with other things. I am the husband of this person, I am the father of this person, they should listen to what I am saying. Arey, you are not even this Mr. So and so. Then why are you getting attached to somebody else? Their life, their karma, they will deal with it. You do your duty, boss. If one does that duty with that bhav ki I am serving Bhagwan or I am doing the duty to the best of my abilities, my purpose is only to serve the divine or to realize my nature as consciousness, then no attachments. Otherwise this attachment will take us more and more into cycles and cycles of birth and death, and which yoni one goes to also one doesn't realize. See, suppose, just an example, not to scare you or anything, but suppose I love non-vegetarian food. Then there are possibilities one may go into the yonis which are those type of yonis, carnivorous yonis, maybe lion, tiger, whatever, jackal, wolf, whatever it may be. Because why? Love non-vegetarian. Okay, whatever the desires are, whatever one loves, one wants to enjoy, then accordingly the appropriate bodies one will get. So one should remember, it is our choice. Every single minute we have a choice, and we are creating our future with that. What has come to us is because of my past karma. How I behave now, how I respond to it now is my present purushartha. That creates my future. So that's why he says, Shariram yad avapnoti yachapyutkramati ishvaraha grihitvaitani samyati. Now grihitva here means what? It will gather and eject out of the body. So the Udana Vayu which is there, this Udana Vayu will eject out of the body. So it will go out through any of the holes, 9 holes in the body. If the jiva is a punyatma, it will go out of the holes in the face. If the jiva is enlightened, then the pranas don't go. Na tasya prana utkramanti. They will all merge in 5 elements because there is nothing, no new body at all required. So everything will go back to 5 elements. Gross body will go to gross 5 elements, subtle body will go to subtle 5 elements. There is no causal body, that is already burnt. That Jivan Mukta is finished, nothing, no residue. That's why Jivan Mukta is compared to camphor. There is no rebirth for that Jivan Mukta. For us, if we are doing sincere sadhana and with great vairagya, etc., but one didn't realize the truth, for such great yogis, prana may go up from here or through any of the sense holes here. Eyes, nose, mouth. In the case of eyes and mouth, one is able to identify the eyes will remain open, the mouth remains open and the prana ejects. If the Jivatma is a bhogi, wants lots of enjoyment, then the prana may go out through the lower holes. And according to whatever its desire is, it will gather new karmas. It will gather new bodies. So grihitva means that gather all this because it has attachment to certain sense enjoyment, certain desires, so it will go ahead. So grihitvaitani samyati, this Jivatma goes. How? Vayurgandhan ivashayat. So the point of this is what Bhagavan said in the earlier shlokas. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. Live with detachment. Why be attached to anything or anyone? Be loving, kind, compassionate, no doubt, but no attachment to anything or anyone. Why? Because my nature is to be detached. See, Brahman is infinite, consciousness is infinite, its nature is to be not affected by anything because there is no duality in it. But even as a mind, if we think about it, and even as the senses, if you think about it, the mind and the senses also teach us detachment. How? Because when we sleep in the night, deep sleep we enter into, we abandon everything, all attachments, all people, all objects, everything we drop. We are just blissfully nearest to our true nature. Just that we don't know avidya is there. However deep my attachment to anybody may be, including my body, including some thoughts and nothing, everything one gives up. How interesting it is, who goes to sleep and who wakes up. Do you think body goes to sleep and body wakes up? Body can do nothing. Body is just Jadavastu. The Jivatma who is living in that body, that is called the Dehi, Mr. So and so, that Jiva goes to sleep and Jiva wakes up. It appears to us that body is sleeping, body is waking up. Body doesn't sleep and wake up. That dead body should be then able to wake up anytime. It won't be able to wake up. Why? Because that entity is gone. Shariram yad avapnoti yadchapi utkramati. Yad avapnoti. That Jiva who is there in that body and that Jiva which goes out, that Jiva wakes up and that Jiva goes to bed. That Jiva only is saying, I am exhausted, I am tired, I am excited, I am happy, I am loving, I am cruel, I am angry, I am depressed. Who is saying all that? Not the body. Not the mind by itself. That consciousness identified with that mind assumes its identity as Mr. So and so, functions through this one body. How many bodies we have taken in the past? So why should I be attached to this body? Mind also teaches us that your nature is detachment. Because if attachment was our nature, we would not be able to let go of anything. But we are able to let go. Senses also teach us detachment. Think about that. The eyes are seeing so many forms, but the eye is holding on to any form? No. Tongue is able to taste so many different types of food, all different tastes. But does it hold on to any food? No. Body's organs also. The heart has to pump the blood, it will leave the blood. New blood will come, it will pump, it will leave the blood. It goes on. Lungs have to breathe, it will take in the air, it will leave the air. Our body, our senses, our mind, our intellect, emotions come, they go, thoughts come, they go, nothing we hold on to. But on the waking, this illusion happens, ki arey, very affected by this tragedy or this excitement. I took photograph with Messi. Wow, so amazing. 10 days I'm now going to revel in that. That's because we have forgotten who we are, our natural detachment, then we are going on adding, and however great your joy may be and excitement may be, in deep sleep everything gone. Again next day one gets up and again that Jivatma creates all this and imagines and then gets attached. Every day we renew our attachment. If you stop renewing the subscription, detachment will happen now because it's our nature. We don't have to cultivate detachment separately. It is my nature already. Atma to is anyway asanga only. So Atma, intellect, mind, senses, body, everything is teaching us detachment. But we are not seeing clearly. So we are thinking I am this and we are getting attached to all. Body also, emotions also, thoughts also, people also, objects also, situations also, everything one is getting attached to. All because of delusion. One is not seeing clearly. My nature is detachment. I don't have to cultivate. However greatly attached you may be, in deep sleep you drop everything. When you are in deep state of love and oneness, in whether it is some profession that you love, some art, dance, music, some hobby, in that state of love when I forget myself, then no attachment, nothing. So many examples are there. So if I understand that very clearly, then one wonders, what am I doing? Why am I going from one body to another? How many more bodies do I want? And what will I achieve by the end of it? It is all temporary anyways. And for that I forget my true nature. That is called Maya. And whose power is that? My own power as infinite consciousness. So I stop. The moment that dream character realizes, okay, this is all dream. Enough now. Wake up. Khatam. Then the whole dream world finishes. Then one realizes there is only one waker. There is no separate dream creator, dream world and the dream creature. There is no three, there is only one. So that's what this is saying. So shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati ishvaraha grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat. Now what are the, so that etani, we already said 21 items, but 15th chapter is explaining that etani more explicitly in this 9th verse. Shrotram chakshusparshanam cha rasanam ghranam cha adhisthaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. Shrotram, the ears, meaning the hearing capability. Shrotram, chakshuhu, so eyes and the seeing capability. Sparshanam, the skin and the touching capability. Then rasanam, the tongue and the tasting ability. Ghranam, the smell and the nose and the smell capability. Now these 5, they can do only their job. They can't do any other sense ka job. And in these, the most important faculty is Shrotram. So that is listed first. Why? Because only through knowledge we can get liberation, and knowledge we can get only through listening. No, Swamiji, I get knowledge by reading also. How did you know this is called A, this is called B, this is called A, this is called Ka? Somebody first gave that knowledge. Then only I come to know. Then I read. Then I gain the clarity. So the senses, ears, eyes, tongue, nose, skin, all these, they can do their job. Who coordinates all these? Mind. Mind includes the intellect here. And it will get the experience for the individual. The senses, we should by implication understand even the other 5 senses of action. So 5 senses of knowledge and action, and the mind and the intellect includes the subtle body. Manas adhishtaya manaschayam. This consciousness identifying with the mind and intellect, which further identifies with the senses, 10 senses, assumes itself to be this jiva. It is consciousness only. Which is why if you study Tattva Bodh, in that what is consciousness, the waker, who is the waker? We say I am the waker, Swamiji, my name is so and so. That is only a name, but that entity is who? That entity is consciousness identified with the body, mind, intellect functioning in this waking world. So Tattva Bodh says that Mr. So and so, the waker, is called as Vishwa. Then that same entity goes to sleep, but not aware of the body, mind is functioning and whole dream world is created. How? It is that consciousness only identified now with only the mind and intellect and this causal body. Gross body it is not aware of. That consciousness is called Tejas. And when it drops identification with the mind and intellect also, only causal body is there, ignorance and vasana. Then that very consciousness is called Prajna. So the entity who is going through three states, waking, dream, deep sleep, body is not going through three states. Mind is not going through three states. That entity who is using body and mind, that entity which is infinite in its nature, is thinking of itself as the finite Mr. So and so and then going from one state to the other. This description given here is of the waking state. Shrotram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam ghranam eva cha adhishthaya manaschayam. Presiding over all this ayam vishayanupasevate. Now this Mr. So and so enjoys the world of objects. Consciousness identified with the BMI in the waking state feels I am Mr. So and now enjoys the world of objects. Same way it withdraws from the body, but identified with the mind and intellect, it projects the whole dream world and enjoys objects in the dream world. In deep sleep the BMI become dormant, so at that point in time one doesn't realize absence of everything, but when one wakes up, then one says I slept like a log, I didn't know anything, I was blissfully knocked out. Who is that entity who is going through all the three? That is my true nature. In fact, in its true nature, it is consciousness. But not knowing that, one is now thinking, I am this Mr. So and so. Now one has created that bondage. And while going through this, what happens? One is creating new desires, new bodies one needs. So this will go on. The Jivatma will gather all these items, 21 items, eject from one body, identify with another body, whichever yoni it may be. If it is a plant yoni, then the subtle buddhi that human being has to discriminate will become dormant for some time. It will be limited by that equipment, but the consciousness is still the same there. The Jivatma is still the same. Then from that body it will come to animal body, then some more emotions will start developing and start expressing, and some viveka it will start doing, movement also will be possible, all that because that equipment is better. Then from there it may come some to the, let us say, human yoni, then again the discrimination will be full. If one has attained that clarity, if one has gained that knowledge, then it will again start manifesting. One will continue from where one left. This cycle goes on. So now comes that the wise people, they see very clearly that this coming and going and staying in the body, etc., who is doing that? Jivatma is actually consciousness, is not. That Jnana Chakshu has opened for them. Others are not able to see that because they are still identified. So 10th shloka says, Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimodhananu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Utkramantam sthitam vapi. While ejecting out of the body or while being in the body, and enjoying. Bhunjanamba Gunanvitam, identified with the gunas, with the three gunas. Consciousness identifying with the three gunas becomes the Jivatma. Why? Because this whole equipment is made up of three guna only. The subtle body of ours is made from the combined sattvic aspect of five elements. The five senses of knowledge are made from individual five elements. Sattvic aspect of five elements. Same way, our pranas are made from combined rajasic aspect of five elements. And the senses of action are made from individual rajasic aspect of five elements. I am not elaborating all this, you can read in Tattva Bodh. And then the gross body is also made up of five elements which have grossified and mixed with each other. The body and the objects are made from that. So he says Gunanvitam, consciousness identified with this assumes itself to be Mr. So and so. Now what does Bhagavan say? Vimudha nanu pashyanti. Those who are deluded, who have deep identification, who have lot of extrovertedness, who have bhoga vritti, who don't have a subtle, they have not awakened their Vivek Shakti, the Sukshma Vivek Shakti, and they are under the influence of ignorance, attachments, desire, selfishness, ego, all that. Then Vimudha na anupashyanti, they can't see. See, Gurudev used to say, Vimudha is not that incapable of discrimination, but refuses to use that power. Everybody has discriminative capability when one comes into human body. By discrimination, I don't mean treating someone badly. By discrimination, we mean separation. This ability to separate what is real, what is unreal, what is self, what is not self. That Gurudev used to say, it's not that they are incapable, but they refuse to do it. Why? Because they are attached to other things. And the desires for objects, pleasure, enjoyment, work, ambition, success is so high. No time for all this. This is all post-retirement plan. Now dekha jayega baad mein. The mind has too many desires. Exact opposite of Vimudha, in this very chapter, Bhagavan, what did he say? Gachanti amudha padam avyayam tat. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandve vimukta sukha dukkha sangnehi gachanti amudha. Those are the people who have freed themselves from delusion. Here are people who are supremely deluded. If you listen to Gurudev, he says supreme idiots. Meaning what? Not that they can't apply wisdom, but they refuse to apply. Vimudha na anupashyanti. Even if they are shown, they refuse to see it. That's why anupashyanti is written there. Where they, even if one says you are not the BMI, they will tell that teacher only, you are a deluded fool. I am this body only. It's very interesting to know that it is not that the asuras don't have knowledge of the Atma. If you read Bhagavatam, how powerful is that explanation there, that Hiranyaksha, when he is killed, Hiranyakashipu is very upset, very angry with Bhagavan Vishnu, and he wants to destroy Bhagavan Vishnu. But he gives Atma Gyan to his family. The wives of Hiranyaksha and the mother Diti, who are grieving. There is one whole chapter in Bhagavatam where this Hiranyakashipu is giving that Gyan, saying that body is temporary, we are not the body, Atma alone is real. Full Atma Gyan he has given. Information he has, but he is still living as the body only. That is called Vimudha Nanu Pashyanti. Information I may have, what will it do? It is one step, no doubt, better than not having the information. But purity of mind is required. Chitta Shuddhi is required. Chitta Ekagrata is required. Then one will realize. Otherwise it will remain information and it will do nothing. Because the job of knowledge is not to transform. Job of knowledge is to inform. How I use that information and bring about transformation, that is my responsibility. If we think just by having knowledge I will become transformed, nothing. I have the knowledge of how to do exercise. I will transform. Every morning we should go and first do 5 minutes of warm-up. Warm-up mein what all should be done from the neck to the toes. All exercises I have memorized. I know. First do neck rotation like this, then do shoulder rotation, and then do this, then do squats, then do this, whatever, ankle mobility ke liye, everything, one knows everything. Then one should do some strength training thrice a week, then one should do cardio for certain days, then one should have cool down period. One knows everything, but one doesn't get up from the bed and go. So what will that knowledge do? No, Swami, the knowledge should make me healthy by itself. It won't work. That knowledge is required, then the intent has to be there na, to use that knowledge. Same way, information may be there in my buddhi, ki I am Brahman. But the intent is not there, the desire is still extroverted. That's why he's saying, Utkramantam Sitam Vapi Bhunjanam. He is going on enjoying. So the mind is gone extroverted, Gunanvitam, fully identified with objects, things, people, body, everything. If I am a student of Vedanta and I don't want to get detached, then whose fault it is? What to do, Swamiji? I am very attached to my child. Then get out of that attachment. How? Understand the pain of attachment. Pratipaksha bhavana karo. Understand that if you get out of attachment, your love will increase. That is better for you and for that child also. You will have your space, child will have their space. Love is not going to end by you becoming detached. Third, hold on to Bhagwan. Because that is only true relationship. Everything else is mithya only. That Bhagwan who put me here, I have forgotten that Bhagwan only. So the more I think of any of these, I can get detached. Then only this Vedanta will come to my life to transform. Otherwise this Vedantic knowledge is there and then my suffering continues. If Vedant knowledge I have and my suffering continues, that is because I have ignorance, I have attachment, I have extrovertedness. Wandering of the mind, Mala Vikshep Avarana, that's what Vedanta says. These are the three problems. Mala will go by Karma Yoga, Vikshepa will go by Upasana, and Avidya or Avarana will go by knowledge. But if I only try to get knowledge, I don't want to work on these two. I don't want to do Upasana, I don't want to do Karma Yoga, then nothing will happen. So Bhagavan says here, Vimudha Nanupashyanti. Those who think of oneself as this BMI, I am the BMI, they are called Vimudha. Vimudha here doesn't mean only somebody who is doing some wrong deeds. No. False identification is bondage. If I think I am this BMI, I am Vimudha. No, Swamiji, this BMI is, at least functionally, relatively, I should know na, ki this is the BMI. We should know this is the BMI, not I am the BMI. This is the BMI, bas, it will do its job. When the karma is over, it will drop. Before it drops, I drop this body identification. They are called wise people, Amudha. Here the word for them is also Jnana Chakshusha, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. They have awakened their Jnana Chakshu, their third eye. How? They have gone to the teacher, asked for the knowledge, prepared their mind, gained the knowledge, reflected, contemplated, realized the truth. Third eye is awakened. Third eye is awakened means what? Oh Swamiji, third eye of Shivji now when he opens, he is so angry and he opens the third eye, everything is burnt. Arey, Bhagwan doesn't open the third eye only when he is angry. That is in Kamdev, Kamadahan story. He shows how you should destroy Kama by opening the third eye. What is the third eye? The third eye is that knowledge of the self, that I am not the jiva, I am not the body, I am beyond gender. How will karma affect me? Karma will affect me only as long as I think I am the body. I am a man, then I am attracted by the female. I am a woman, then I am attracted by the male. I am a third gender, then I am attracted to whoever else. But the point is, you are none of these. That knowledge, when it arises, it will burn away Kamdev. Bhagwan doesn't open the eye to burn the world. He opens the eye to burn the worldliness in us. That Kama has to go. When Kam goes, Ram comes. Kam and Ram don't stay same place. Ravan is symbol of Kama. And Bhagwan Ram is Paramananda Swarup. So the point is to understand this, that Jnana Chakshu has to be opened. That's the purpose of our human life. Why we came here? Awaken the Jnana Chakshu. Every day when we put this tilak here, it is a reminder to us. You think about the genius of our rishis. What have they not given to us to remember the goal of life? Janevu, if you wear, you have to hold that Brahma Granthi and chant the Gayatri mantra. You begin the day with that, take bath. Remember Bhagwan when you get up. Take bath, remember Bhagwan. Do the Surya Arghya, remember Bhagwan. Eating food, remember Bhagwan. When you apply tilak every day in this third eye, why we apply here only? Why can't we apply here, here? No, Swamiji, that is done for children, najar nahi lagenge isliye. Tilak is put here only. Why? Because it is to remind us, you are Brahman. Awaken that third eye. Faster we awaken that third eye, the better it is. It is that intuitive capability in us. And every one of us has the third eye. Just that we have not awakened it. It is not a fleshy eye. It is the eye of intuition. When the head and the heart come together, meaning pure mind, subtle intellect come together. Pure mind meaning Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya is reduced. Completely one has dropped. And intellect has become subtle by doing upasana, by reflecting and listening and reflecting to the Brahma Vidya. Intellect has become sharp and subtle. Steadily it will be able to contemplate. And this mind also freed from Kama, so it's not extroverted. Such a mind and intellect which are integrated, when they contemplate Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, that Jnana Chakshu will open. What will that do? Jnanagni sarva karmane bhasmasat kurute. It will destroy all false identification and all karma. Burnt, finished. How? Because it makes us realize I am not the karta at all. I was never the karta. This Jivatma, the Jiva Bhav only is an illusion. The moment that dream character wakes up from the dream and realizes I am the waker, what happens to the dream world? Burnt. Destroyed, gone. No more one is bound. This is the goal of life. So simple tilak when we put here, bindi when we put here, we have made it exactly ulta of what it is supposed to be. We put it for beautifying the body. It is not meant to beautify the body, it is meant to help me to get out of body identification. How do I look? Should I use small? One dot? And the other person says, you look so amazing with a small dot. So somebody is putting so big. And then people will say, oh, so big. Some people like that big, some people like that small. The whole purpose is what? Get out of body identification. What small, big? Apply this here, okay, chandan and all that. If you apply, it will help to cool the forehead, this, that, whatever other benefits one can say. But the point is, and one applies it with the ring finger, apply like this. Why? This is a finger connected, supposed to represent our heart. This is the head. So the head and the heart, you integrate, that is your purpose. Are your actions, how you are going to act today, is it helping you to integrate the personality and rise above it, or is it creating more and more split in the personality, more and more agitation, action, attachment? Every time one sees one's face in the mirror, this tilak should remind, are my actions helping me to align myself or they are disintegrating me? Now the people don't put also. They think, no, this is all religious, we don't want to put anything. But they will write pronouns. How do I want to be addressed? He stroke him. She stroke her. They stroke them. This is how you want to be addressed. In those days, they didn't have all these pronouns and all that. They will apply. So somebody is a Shaivite, bhasma they will put like that. Somebody is a Vaishnavite, then they will put some chandan. Somebody is a Shakta, then they will put some red color big. So then you understand, okay, he is a Shakta, he is a Shaivite, he is a Vaishnavite. Then you relate accordingly. But the purpose of all that was what? To awaken the third. To make that person realize, live in such a way that your body, mind, intellect get aligned to the higher purpose and you drop identification. Vimudha nanu pashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshusha. Awaken that eye of knowledge. And that eye of knowledge, when one has, then what does one realize? This is only an equipment. I am Brahman. And there is only Brahman everywhere. There is nothing else. The person who has woken up from the dream realizes, oh, the whole dream world was nothing but my mind only. Simply I got, so excited or so scared in the dream. Now, this experience of Jnana Chakshu, few people get. Many don't get. Why? See, Bhagavan explains this. Yatanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatantopyakritatmanaha nainam pasyantyachetasaha. Yatanto yoginaschainam. Even though one is putting in a lot of effort, in the earlier chapter it was said, prayatnad yatamanastu yogi samshuddha kilvishaha. With great effort one has put in to live the karma yoga way of life, do the upasana, purify the mind, what we said earlier. All those sadhanas one has done, integrated the body, mind, intellect. Then yatanto yoginas chainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam. They come to realize atmani avasthitam. What? That this jiva is none other than that Brahman, that aham brahmasmi, they realize. In that aham is that supreme consciousness. One realizes, I am that consciousness, I am not this jiva. This jiva is a pratibimba of that only. So there are no two. The reflection and the sun are not two. The sun only is reflecting here. Without the sun, this has no existence. The rope and the snake are not two. The snake is appearance of rope only. There is only one rope appearing as the snake. Waker and dreamer are not two. That waker only appears as the dream character. But not knowing that, then one has become deluded. Now the delusion has gone. Why? Because yatanto yoginas chainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam. Here and now one will realize that I am consciousness. So this is not some goal out there. Yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. When it was said, some confusion may be to people that it is there. No, it is not there. It is right here. And having discovered that, na nivartante, one will not become deluded again. For that, prayatna has to be done. Great effort has to be put. Whole purpose of life is only that one thing. Even if one has family, children, work, responsibility, social duties, everything, the purpose is only one. Awaken the Jnana Chakshu. Integrate the BMI, go beyond the BMI. That's it. One If I don't know that one main purpose, I may do 20,000 things, but I will still be wondering, what is the point? Why should I do this? Anyway, it's all temporary. It's all perishable. Don't people have that question? If everything is temporary, then why should I work hard? If everything is so temporary, then why should I have a family? Why do I even marry? Why do I do work? Why should I earn money? For what? No, everybody is doing it. Or it will give you some purpose, or you will be productive, or you will achieve something. One may keep saying some of these answers, but the real reason is what? You came here to know the truth. That one has to become aware of. I came here because I didn't know the truth. I misunderstood myself, so I landed up in this body, and I am continuing that journey of misunderstanding, wrong non-apprehension and misapprehension, and I am creating further seeds for new bodies. Now how long will I do this? So put in that effort, saying ki bas, I may still do my duties in my home, at my work, in the society. Nobody is saying ki run away from that. Arjun was told by Bhagwan, fight, do the duty, destroy the adharmic forces. But remember, you are doing this for the divine. With that clarity, yatanto yoginas chainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam. One will see the truth here and now. Yatantopi akritatmanaha. See, here he says that even though striving, those who are not kritatma, who are akritatma, who have not done what actually needs to be done, means the preparation is not proper, then na enam pashyanti achetasa, then they are not able to realize this self because they are unintelligent. What does that mean? We have to become kritatma. Kritatma means one who has done what needs to be done. What needs to be done? Mind has to be purified. Mind has to be made single pointed. One has to go to the teacher. Seek Brahmagyan. Develop fourfold qualifications. Listen to the Atmagyan, Brahmagyan, reflect, contemplate. This is what needs to be done. And in sequence has to happen. Suppose I land up with the teacher first, doesn't matter. Start practicing Karma Yoga, do the Upasanas daily, develop Vairagya, live in sense control, drop the attachments, seek knowledge, keep the purpose of life. My purpose of life is Brahmagyan. I want to realize who am I. That is called Kritatma. Integrate the BMI. Don't allow anything to disintegrate it. Where I know something is right, but I land up doing the wrong. No. Live up. Gurudev used to say, live up to your intellectual convictions. When you know something is right, you live up to it without compromise. Then I am a Kritatma. If I am doing japa, puja, bhajan, I have built a relationship with Bhagwan, I surrender my ego, then I am Kritatma. When I am doing karma, I do dharmic karma in moderation as well as dedicated to Bhagwan. Then I am a Kritatma. If I am not doing any of these, then I am Akritatma. Then I may be putting in the effort. I may say meditate, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Nothing will happen. Highest form of contemplation I am doing on the formless. But the mind is not dropping attachment. Mind is not having single pointedness. It doesn't have clarity about the relationship of the Jiva with Ishvara. Straight away jump to Vedant, saying I will chant only Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Then this will not work. So if this buddhi has not been prepared well, fourfold qualification, Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka, Sampati, Mumukshutvam, not cultivated. Bhakti, not cultivated. Some confusion one is having. I am a student of Vedanta, why do I need bhakti? Then one is Akritatma only. That's what Bhagavan is saying. Yatantopi, even though they are striving, the preparation is not there, so how it will work? One has, let us say, one has to cook food. Now one has taken water, one has put it on the gas, but one has not prepared anything. There is no vegetable, there is no, people, things have not been made ready, the masalas are not there, nothing is there. How? There no dish will be get made. Water will get heated, that's all. Then one will be frustrated. That's what happens many times. For years one is doing some sadhanas, but one has not done the preparation for it. One is just doing, and this, the way in which the scriptures indicate how to align the BMI, one has not followed. That's why it's important to study systematically, understand from somebody who is knowledgeable about the scripture. Now just think about it. In this chapter only we saw last verse. Ishvara word means Jiva. Who will know that? People like Shankaracharya ji has given the commentary, Gurudev has explained it, so we come to understand, oh, this word Ishvara here means Jiva. Now simply we have been chanting and we don't know how that word Ishvara can mean Jiva. Like that we don't take proper guidance, we don't follow systems, and then we'll end up just somehow studying by ourselves, reading here, there. Then Akritatma, Yatantopi, they are striving, no doubt. They also are seekers, they want to know the truth, but have not followed the process. This applies in everything or not? If we don't know the procedure of certain things, we just land up by ourselves doing, it may even harm us sometimes. So that's why Bhagavan is saying here that Yatanto pi akritatmana nainam pashyanti achetasa, because they are unintelligent. So much understanding is required कि भाई what is the goal, what is the means, in that what is the preparatory means and what is the direct means, where am I and what do I need to do to start walking. This much is understanding is required. If I don't know what is the goal, if I don't know what is the direct means to the goal, what is the preparatory means to the goal, where am I, how will I reach? I may just walk. You drive a vehicle without knowing where is the destination, without knowing what is the route to be taken, will you reach? One won't reach. No, that's why Bhagavan is saying nainam pashyati achetasa. Pashyanti achetasa. So one has to put in that effort to choose specifically that I want Bhagavan, I want realization, whatever be it, Atma, Paramatma, Ishvara, God realization, self-realization, whatever one calls it, that is the same. And what is that state? I should get the clarity of that. It is not some loka somewhere. It is here and now. That's why I use the word avasthitam and enam. Both. Pashyantyatmani avasthitam and enam. Yoginascha enam. This Atma, which is right here. One is not seeking some God out there which is abstract, nameless, formless, absolute. One is seeking to know who am I truly. So if that goal is clear, this is what I have to discover, and the means, knowledge is the direct means of it. To gain the knowledge, the preparatory means is Karma Yoga and Upasana. Karma Yoga will remove Mala, Upasana will remove Vikshepa. With such a mind, go to the teacher, listen to Brahma Gyan, that will remove the Avarana, and one will realize the self. So this is the process. Achetasa means one who doesn't follow this process, is not alert, doesn't have the clarity, doesn't have the purity, simply doing something. Why? So everybody is doing, I will also do. It may start like that if one has not begun the journey in that sense, you see, and somehow it starts, but then to reach there one has to follow. So for now we will stop here, continue in the next class. Further dates I will put up on the group. What are the further dates? We had given only up till now. Now further dates I will share on the group. Maybe 2-3 classes more we require and it will be completed by then. Alright, so we thank our Yajmans, the Mukhya Yajmans for all the sessions. Ajay Kasotia ji, Tarana Khubchandani ji, Kalpana Morparia ji, Parag Wagh, Ajay Merchant ji, Bharat Khanna ji, Deepika Bakshi ji and Vandana Jagwani ji. Geeta Aarti Yajman for all sessions, Vinno Munshi ji, Dipti Gandhi ji, Jyotsna Nevatia ji, Rashmi Anand ji, Rajan Saxena ji, Vipul Dalal ji, Hemant Kumar ji, Nalini Kaya ji and Sudhir Merchant ji. Today's Dainik Yajmans are Bharati Kapadia ji, Srirang Kulkarni ji, Nihar Oza ji and Sarojini Kurup ji. And today's Geeta Aarti Yajmans are Kartik Sharma ji, Kunal Bhatia ji, Lata Subramanyam ji. So we invoke Bhagwan's grace, Gurudev's blessings on all the Yajmans, their families and everyone present here. May Bhagwan bless us with the right understanding. May we follow the right means and may we awaken the Jnana Chakshu and realize our true nature. Om Tat Sat, Jai Shri Krishna. We will take up the questions after the Aarti is over.
Om Jai Bhagavad Gita, Maya Jai Bhagavad Gita, Hariya Kamala Viharini, Sundara Sukunite, Om Jai Bhagavad Gita, Karma Sumarma Prakashini, Kama Sakti Hara, विदारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा भव भयहारिणि तारिणि परमानन्द प्रदा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते आसुर भाव विनाशिनि नाशिनि तमरजनि दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि पर प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिया कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते बोलिए गीता मैया की जय
बोलिए श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Okay, Meena Gupta ji.
Hari Om Swamiji, thank you, pronouns. Swamiji, in the context of the verse Shariram Yada Vapnoti, so I just wanted some clarification. I had come across something which was referring to the Garbho Upanishad once, where it says that when the fetus is in the womb, it actually remembers all its past lives, and it promises not to do sin, but then this knowledge we lose at birth. So I was just trying to relate that to how we understand. So would we refer that it is still in the pragya state, but it's not overcome by ignorance? So it is actually at one with the pure consciousness when it is a fetus? How to understand?
No, it's not like that. If it is one with consciousness, then there's no question of remembering any sorrow. No?
Right.
See, we have to remember one thing, Garbhopanishad and even Garbhastuti is there even in the Bhagavatam, is to create vairagya in the jiva and is to make the jiva understand that there is suffering in the womb. Why do you want to go back into that Garbhavas? And the jiva, yes, the process of the jiva settling its memories to get into this new world and new body is going on from that time it is in the womb and even after birth. That's why the child sleeps for a long time and suddenly the child will smile in sleep, will cry, will suddenly feel angry, disturbed, because the memories are getting set. So from conscious mind to subconscious mind to unconscious mind, the memories are getting rearranged. So in that context, the jiva remembers certain things in the womb, and poetically it is also said that the jiva will pray to Bhagavan, and it's not that every jiva will definitely be touched by Maya. That's talking about a common regular jiva. We also know so many of the jivas who are such great yogis who come out with such clarity, and then few little bit of sadhana and they realize the truth. So we don't have to take it absolutely. It's not that jiva is one with consciousness that time. If there is oneness with consciousness, then there is no life and death again. There is no birth, rebirth, nothing. The fact that it is in the womb means that there is a false identification, and it is remembering certain things, and idea is only to generate more vairagya. Yes. Lajjari.
Swamiji, can you hear me?
Yes.
I want to talk to you today. I want some guidance. 5-7 minutes. Can I call you tonight?
May not be possible. You can message.
Shall I message?
Yeah, message.
Okay, after some time, after 9, at 9 or so, I'll message then.
Okay.
I need some guidance urgent.
Lataji.
Hari Om Swamiji, pranams. Regarding Vayurgandha Nivashayat, you said that smell is the property of earth and air is just carrying it. I didn't understand that concept clearly. Can you please explain again, Swamiji?
Yeah, so when we see when we go back to Tattva Bodh, then the 5 elements which are the Tanmatras. I'm going to mute because I'm hearing my voice back. So the 5 elements which are the Tanmatras, from there one capability of the senses is born. So we say that the sattvic aspect of the 5 elements, from the space capability of hearing is born, from the air capability of touch is born, from the fire capability of seeing is born, from water capability of taste is born, and from earth the capability of smell is born. Which is why we say even in the Gita when Bhagavan says Punyo Gandha Prithivyam cha. Gandha is associated with Prithvi. Not that doesn't mean that other things don't have smell. But Predominantly Gandha comes from where? From the material objects. Air doesn't have smell by itself, no? Smell is created from something else, and that smell air carries. That may be some object, some person, something, no? Those properties of those physical things have smell. And those physical things are predominantly made up of earth, soil, or whatever, what we call as the gross bodies. So the smell, see, by itself any other element doesn't have smell, no? Fire doesn't have smell, water doesn't have smell. We put some essence into it, then we say this is smelling like rose. By itself water doesn't have smell. Space, air, fire, water, they don't have smell. Earth has smell by itself. That's a property. That's why we say the property of earth is smell. And which is why Bhagavan also takes the Varaha avatar to uplift the earth from the Rasatala and bring it back to the same level where the earth's level is. And why Varaha? Varaha is connected to the earth. The Varaha, the boar and the pig, they eat the earth, and that smell is what they are so attached to. So that's why we say that. So the more you read Tattva Bodh, more clarity will come. Details are there in Tattva Bodh. Zoom user.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Hari Om Swamiji, Bharti Malfatia here.
Haji.
I missed that in past also we explained, but today the way we have that concept of Ishvara and the Jivan, Jivatma. Can you just say a little means again about that? So I missed it. So I request to that Hari Om Swamiji.
What I explained today is that the word Ishvara in this verse that we saw, there that word Ishvara means Jiva. So that is one. Because there it is said that that entity is the lord of this one body, mind, intellect. So that was the verse that we did, where that particular shloka is saying that, that ya shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati ishvara. But otherwise what we are saying, the jiva is not different from Ishvara in its essential nature. That jiva, if one thinks I am completely different from Ishvara, then that is ignorance. So for destroying that ignorance is what Bhagavan is saying, ki mamaiva amsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. This Mr. So and so is not completely different from the divine. A wave is not completely separate from the ocean. Wave is essentially water, which ocean also is essentially water. But not knowing that, if the wave thinks I am completely different, now that is where the problem is. So when it is said Jiva is the Amsha of Ishvara, it is not Amsha of Ishvara because Ishvara is not some object where the so many small parts will then totally become Ishvara. Ishvara is infinite, infinity has no parts. But identify with one, it appears limited, and to make it clear, you are not different from Ishvara, it is said you are Amsha of Ishvara. But otherwise there is no Amsha and Amshi, there is only one truth. And that's why we gave the example of the pot space and the outer space. There is no difference. If there are 10 pots and there is 10 pot spaces, it's not that each pot space has to merge with the outer space. So if somebody thinks that Jivatma will merge with Paramatma, I am an Amsha, he is my Amshi, I am a part, he is the whole. That is at one level. If somebody can't understand Advait Vedanta, then one says, okay, better to say that you are Amsha Bhagavan than to say that you are this body and completely reject Bhagavan. So then you say, okay, you are Amsha of that. So as if you are Amsha of Bhagavan, then if Bhagavan has Satchidananda is his Swarup, and Anand and Prem and Karuna and Shanti and all is his Swarup, then you are having that in small part. So you also live in a way where you are peaceful, blissful, happy, kind, compassionate. It is for a temporary time that understanding has to be kept. But the truth is there is only one infinite consciousness and you are that. The sooner the jiva realizes that, the better it is, and the jiva will get out of the cycle of birth and death. Okay, 2 questions in the chat. What is the role of synchronicity in our life on the enlightenment process? Like nothing which happens in our life seems random, almost to the extent of 100%. If it's part of enlightenment process, how to use this for material gains also to excel in life? See, karma standpoint, everything is happening because of some reason. Some past karma is there, it is not random. If there's an effect, there has to be a cause. I may or may not know the cause. So when I don't know the cause, we say it is some past life. Sometime something would have happened, so I'm going through it now. Second point to understand is, the whole thing is a projection of the mind only. The purer the mind becomes, the more synchronicity one will experience. Which is what these people who are talking about manifestation, they will say, you think about it and then you feel it and you visualize it as though you have already achieved it, and you will manifest it and it will happen. Which is what Vedanta is also saying, you align your head, you align your heart and your hands, and you live without contradiction, without doubt, without doing things which are opposite to what you want, and you will manifest. So if one wants to use it to manifest something and attain material gains, one has to apply this in that same way. You think with your head, I want to be a billionaire, you feel that I am already a billionaire, and then you act like a billionaire, you will become a billionaire. So one is using that for material things. Then a person does all that, understands that this is all finite, temporary, limited. Then one turns the attention within and says, I am not the BMI at all. Then one uses this alignment to transcend the BMI identification. So it is a part of the evolution only. Until one doesn't get satisfied with the material world and doesn't feel ki bhai enough, I played with it, now time to turn, keep playing. Nothing wrong. Shastra doesn't say that don't pursue artha and kama, but it says do pursuit of artha and kama with dharma. Don't compromise with righteousness there. Don't take shortcuts. Don't avoid work and minimum pay, maximum pay, minimum work. All that will not help. Pursue artha and kama with dharma. See to it, see its limit. Understand that finally it is all temporary, perishable. When one has got enough vairagya, then you turn that mind towards the divine. What are the 21 things that Jivatma takes with it when it ejects out of the body? 5 senses of knowledge, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching. 5 senses of action, grasping, movement, evacuation, reproduction, and speaking. Then 5 pranas, prana, apana, vyana, udana, saman, 15. Mind, intellect, memory, ego, man, buddhi, chitta, ahankar, 19. Vasanas and avidya, 21. Right. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.